I've always been a super competitive athlete and also played varsity soccer at McMaster. 6 or 7 years ago, I had a really bad injury that kind of stopped me in my tracks right at the end of my soccer career. And after 2 years of multiple misdiagnoses, finally found out that I had torn my labrum of my left hip. So I finally was booked in for surgery in 2015, and I was set and ready to go to just get this surgery over with and start my rehab process. So finally had the surgery, and then by the time I was starting my rehab process, I was also in the industry, so I had a great network of professional therapists to kind of pick and choose from for my rehab. So I worked with really great massage therapists, really great physiotherapists, saw some really great chiropractors, even saw a manual osteopath and a Pilates instructor, and took all the tips and tricks and recommendations that they had for me to get going on my therapy process. One after the other, I would listen to what they had to say and would make improvements, but still felt off. I started to get pretty frustrated. I would try running and I would have all this pain on my right side. I'd have right knee pain, right hip pain, feel like I was tearing my hamstring, and that never seemed to change. I would get better for a few weeks with a new therapist, and then would kind of just get stuck again. And I was getting super frustrated. I was now a year or 2 years after my surgery thinking that I should be better, and I couldn't get back into a normal exercise routine, which was extremely frustrating for me. So finally I decided that it might be my footwear or something that my foot that could be affecting the rest of the chain above me. So I kind of looked around and through professional networking met up with Darius and went into Align to have an assessment done. So after talking with Darius about his recommendations and what he thought would work for me, we kind of came up with a plan, and so I walked out the door without orthotics because I decided that I still didn't need them. That I was just going to keep working on my rehab exercises and that I would still be able to make myself better. So I went off, and a year later, I was kind of still in the same point, still extremely frustrated with not being able to run and train the way I wanted to and the way I always had. So I came back in, had a reassessment done, and finally took home a pair of orthotics. I started using them as directed, and within a couple of weeks, I felt so much better. I had no more pull on my hamstring. I felt centered and aligned again. I didn't feel rotated through my pelvis, and I felt so much better since.
Seeing a podorthist is just part of the puzzle. The healthcare team, your healthcare team, is obviously consistent of multiple different healthcare practitioners. And just understanding that this is one aspect to help enhance your therapy and recovery or improve performance or improve your posture and body alignment can be quite substantial. In Carly's case, we designed a very minimalist style orthotic, soft, flexible, lightweight. She really had great foot posture, good body alignment. She was strong, she was healthy, she had great range of motion. All we were doing was using the Align Orthotic really for proprioceptive feedback to her to allow her to run more efficiently and improve her hip motion in the sagittal plane to be more efficient, better loading her first MTP joint. And so we did this with a very flexible, lightweight device, like I've got here, and a very, very small 3mm lift that just enhanced her pelvic and postural alignment, making the whole thing come together and work really synergistically. And we're really thrilled that she had such a fantastic experience with us. I'm extremely passionate about posture and body alignment. I find it fascinating. The body is highly connected, and the more you learn about the body, the more you realize it's really highly integrated. The feet being the foundation of your entire musculoskeletal system really allows you to understand what an impact the feet have on the body. They're often unfortunately overlooked or understood quite simplistically as overpronation and supination, but really it's much more than that. Dynamic foot function is quite different than static foot postural alignment. When you consider what the purpose of the feet are, being the foundation, a lot of people deviate to foot strengthening exercises, which can be extremely successful. However, it's not just about making the foot stronger. It's about optimal balance between foot musculature and specific range of motion and the skeletal congruency between the bones of the feet that affect and influence the entire kinetic chain. So when designing our orthotics, you have to really carefully think about the design aspects. What materials, how are you going to manufacture it? And the vast array of these different techniques and materials allows unlimited different solutions. The variety of different functions and purposes can be from training, using it as a training tool to improve posture, gait biomechanics, golf swing, running biomechanics, essentially anything that involves the legs. It can be used as a proprioceptive device. It can be used as a functional correction to redistribute weight or improve mechanical loading. It can be used for comfort. It can be used as a brace or a mobilizer, as it's most commonly looked at, or even a therapy tool so that physios, chiros, ATs, and osteopaths can focus on other aspects and not wait for the foot to improve its function, posture, and strength.
So I'm just glad that I was able to incorporate all professions into my rehab, and now I feel great.